Hello, hello.
Oh, I was muted. I said, what is up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you nice and clear, and I can see your screen perfectly casted.
Awesome.
Oh, I recognize that game. Saw it at GDC.
Yeah. Have you played it before?
Just at GDC was my first time.
Nice.
Before that, I seen like videos. Welcome everyone.
Yes.
We got a players gonna play episode here, and we have Elisa as a special guest as well, which I didn't even realize it was the same Elisa that I know. So that was a nice surprise.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're twins. We same name.
yeah, we're the Eli twins on Arbitrum and crypto Twitter.
Yeah. Bri, would you like to introduce yourself?
Am I on?
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
What's up? I'm with the Eli twins. That's too funny.
Yeah.
GM. Good to see you guys.
Nice background. I feel like I should have put that.
I can send it to you if you want it.
Yeah, please.
I'm good though. I feel like I'm the only one who didn't get absolutely wrecked from GDC. How are you guys feeling?
Wrecked.
Yeah. Right. But it only kicked in like a week later. So I don't know what this is, but
Mine kicked in 3 different times throughout the last week.
wow.
It happened right away, and then I was better. Then it happened again, and then it happened again. It was very strange.
Good times.
Yeah, good times.
Well,
all right, what's up? What's up, Bri?
Dude, good to see you guys again. It's been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, last week, I don't know how you guys felt, but I mean, Web3 gaming felt electric at GDC. It felt like it took over the conference. I think we're all a little bit biased because we were in the middle of the storm that was Arbitrum, the AVAX booth. That little corridor of the conference was popping the entire week. And then, of course, spending a lot of quality time with the Wolves DAO, at the Wolves Den at the house, really felt like it was, for me, the epicenter of the conference away from the conference. So just great to meet so many content creators, founders, KOLs, you name it. It felt like everybody in the gaming space was there. So just, I think, a really fun and exciting time. We had, of course, our big announcement, King of Destiny, InfiniGods. We're officially on Arbitrum, live now. Let's effing go. First mobile game, I believe, in history to have this type of Web3 integration on the blockchain. The app itself is in the App Store, iOS, Google Play. There's a PWA attached that has all of these different Web3 pieces that Elisa is going to take us through. But I think it's a pretty monumental moment. I mean, we're hyped. We're stoked to have it in the market, and really just excited for you guys to get your hands on it and start playing around with things.
Yeah, so don't judge me, Bri, but I had completed way more levels, but it seems like my account was reset. So
likely story.
Come on, Eli, come on. So tournaments here is locked. We won't be able to show tournaments. But apart from that, yeah, maybe I can take people just through the general game. So this is basically the opening screen. So you've got the shop, you've got campaign, which is like cities. So I think to start, I could maybe go over like the genre, and Bri, definitely feel free to elaborate. But so there is like a building side to it, which I think is pretty unique. I don't know if Monopoly Go has that. But yeah, like basically the biggest comparisons in Web 2 in terms of mobile games with KOD are Coin Master and Monopoly Go. And they're kind of known for collecting, rolling dice, all that kind of stuff. And you definitely find those kind of elements in King of Destiny. And there is a luck thing to it, right? Like it's luck genre, right? Luck battle.
I think we're calling it the luck battle genre now, and it's a new genre. And really, I mean, if you know Coin Master, if you know Monopoly Go, I mean, those are probably the two heaviest hitters. I mean, just to give a sense for scale and size, Monopoly Go just hit $1 billion in revenue. They do $30 million in revenue a day at this point. It's like immense scale and money in there. It's built by Scopely. It's sort of their prize pony right now. But I think it's actually the fastest growing category in mobile. So it's a good place to be. And I think the other thing that's cool about it, if you look at the Monopoly Go trading groups on Facebook, they have well over 10 million members that are sort of like trust trading, stickers, badges, items, literally just like sending it to one another with no proof or verification. So I think there are some really fun and natural tie-ins too for blockchain, for trading, sort of all the things that we know and love.
Yeah, the one thing also I noticed when I Googled Monopoly Go was does Monopoly Go pay you real money? Like that's like the second like Google search, like that's the second question, most popular question, which is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are begging to financialize their experience, but it hasn't been possible in mobile gaming up to this point. And, a lot of that is obviously the byproduct of Apple and their regulations and their stance against crypto and NFTs. But I think, the work that we've done with Arbitrum, Third Web, our founder, Owen, has been in the mobile space for well over a decade. Same with Damon, our CEO. They know the ins and outs of the industry. They know how to find all the little the loopholes and crevices. So we think we've created a tech stack that, gives players the native familiar experience they know and they love from a mobile game, especially in Luck Battle, but does have those Web3 hooks that are integrated in a way that's currently kosher and pretty seamless that I think, we'll see a little bit more about today.
Who knew we were going to find a player base that loves RNG so much?
Right?
I mean, I didn't realize there was even like such a big community that is looking to trade and collect. I would say that the biggest community I knew before, meeting you guys and you telling me about Monopoly Go was Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, trading card games. I didn't realize, the collecting aspect and the trading aspect expanded into other genres. So pretty cool.
It's funny, collecting is such a basic human impulse. Like, you see things that pair together and you want to smash them together. And I think, all of these different games, you look at Monopoly Go, they've come up with really unique ways to give positive reinforcement, give rewards, give benefits that sort of stimulate that collecting activity. I think the key is it just has to feel natural. It has to be presented in a way that feels compelling, but it's such a natural social behavior. You think about when you were growing up in elementary school or middle school, at least for me, I'm dating myself, but we would trade Pokemon cards, we would trade baseball cards. And that was kind of like what made you cool in your social circles. So it's fun to see it coming back and as alive as ever.
Yeah, I used to do that. I even used to collect like footballer cards. Like I think everyone has had that. But yeah, let me I'm gonna basically play the game as we talk, but just a quick intro into what I'm doing right now. So you've got the play, and this is basically where you get your gold and you get the resources needed to build here. And then you've got different cities that you're building up. So as you can see, I collected a bunch of golds. So now I'm able to build. I get more cards, basically more like shuffling goes. So here I just finished the first level. City completed. I get extra. It's so many dopamine hits. I remember first playing this game, and I kind of just thought, okay, this is the only layer of the game, shuffling cards and then building the city. But then you've got and I don't know how you would like call those, but you've got extra levels where you've got disasters. So you're attacking other players basically. I found that really cool. I don't know if that's like a way for you guys to sink gold or I don't know, encourage people to farm more.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than anything, the attacking is sort of that virality and that social layer. So the way it works is, and I'm hoping you hit one, as you're dealing and you're accruing coins to progress further, if you end up drawing 3 swords, so there are images on all the cards, if you get a 3 sword combo, it triggers an attack. And it'll randomly pick an opponent either from your friend list or the pool of gamers, and you'll actually steal coins from them. So if I'm playing right now and I get an attack combo and I hit you, Elisa, I would steal your coins, you would lose coins, your base would get destroyed. So it kind of has that roundabout social mechanic, natively built in.
Get wrecked, Elisa.
Get
Got
wrecked.
points stolen.
So right now we just had like this. What do you call this, an attack? Not really. This is like the destiny.
That's
side of-
the destiny attack. It's like the super attack that steals more coins, destroys someone's entire base.
Who's Lucas? You just invaded Lucas.
I think it's Lucas from Helica, actually.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. I play and I hit like Grail, I hit Seed Phrase, I hit Lucas, I hit Elisa, I hit Yellow Panther. Like, it's pretty fun, the names that pop up kind of randomly.
But we're not in each other's friend list, are we? Oh look, we just got triple I, and basically when that fills up, the fates give you something, right? Like you get given something special.
They go to that meter in the bottom right. That purple thing is your destiny meter. So when you hit purple eyes on the draw, that gradually fills up. And when you top it off, it'll kind of like start to show off a shockwave. And it'll trigger that big destiny attack to steal mega coins from opponents.
And then just another thing on like the dopamine. So you've got auto shuffle, which is pretty cool. So when you first start the game, you have to press it every time, and it shuffles, and you don't have the ×2, ×3.
Yep.
But there is a thing where you can hold down, and then it shuffles automatically, and then you can do it faster. So let me just show them that.
Oh, so you just triggered the mega destiny attack again. So Alexa is about to get wrecked.
And they don't even have to be online to get wrecked.
No, it's all
man.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. Like when you stop playing, actually overnight, or you take a few hours off, people are going to keep attacking you, and you'll lose some of your progress that way.
And you'll log on and then just be like a week later after the holidays and be so upset.
Exactly.
But it makes you come back. It makes you keep grinding, which is good. So all wins ×3. There was a season before, right? Did you guys change that?
There's as you progress through the game, you unlock higher deal multipliers. So when you get to the second half of the campaign, you can start to unlock like X10, X20 deal multipliers. So you can like really degen. You can also hold down the deal for it to auto deal. That way, if you don't want to tap it, you can just let it roll. I think you're doing that now, though.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
She's pulling
great
some
if you're
good cards.
in the bathroom or in the car or something like that. I don't condone KOD and driving, but it is easy if you want to leave it in your cup holder.
Wow, Bri. No, but it just means that you can multitask. Like you can do it whilst talking to someone as well. But yeah,
Exactly.
now we've got a lot of gold, so we can just build.
I have a question. What happens if somebody attacks you or interacts with you while you're online? Do you get like prompted to defend or something, or?
So if somebody attacks you, you'll get a notification that somebody hit you, and you'll see your base kind of get destroyed in real time. At least if you go back to the build screen, I'll show you one thing you can do.
Can you hit them back?
If you get the 3 sword card combo, yeah, you can hit them back, and you can actually hit your friend list and pick who you attack if you want.
Oh, that's dirty.
It's savage. If you hit the little Hercules icon back where you were building, yeah, so you can actually summon Hercules to protect your base. So he'll block up to 3 attacks while you're away to kind of shield you for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember using this. Pretty useful.
In your supposed other account that you were a higher level.
Yeah, but even now, I just realized it reset my thing. Maybe it's because I haven't logged in.
Oh yeah, look at that. Your gold's back to 17,000.
Guys, I'm in London, so
Oh, I hear the London sirens. They sound different than Canadian.
yeah, it's sirens all the time.
Damn, London's crazy.
Oh, 3 swords? Yeah, okay, we just hit 3 swords.
All right, attack Bri.
So, friends, I don't think I have any friends. Okay, guide.
Attack the guide.
The goat.
NPC. But yeah,
but technically, if you were friends with me or Eli, you could pick us from that list, and you could just absolutely thrash us.
I know we should have planned for that. That would have been funny.
Okay.
So you can play without signing in, like you can just play no account.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can play as a guest without signing in if you want. But we would recommend signing up for an account or logging in, because then your progress gets saved and you can start to mint.
Oh, of course.
Mint stuff on chain and sell it.
And you're a real player at that point.
Exactly. If it's spinning, just maybe restart the app.
Yep.
Sometimes it happens.
But at school, people can like test it out as a guest. I haven't seen that in a lot of games.
And it's, it's a small thing, but it's, a pretty common friction point, when you get hit with a login modal, before you can even try the game. So, our goal always is take as much friction out of the experience as possible, let people start playing. And then if you want to create an account a little bit later, you just sign in the top right and it takes 2 seconds.
So I was on a gaming panel yesterday, and one of the things we were talking about was like adoption in Web3 and how it really isn't the biggest issue, like in terms of onboarding, because we started talking about our experiences growing up with games that we would spend like hours onboarding ourselves because we wanted to play it. And that's even, worse than some Web3 onboarding. Like think of, Halo and Xbox Live. You had to like really finagle your setup and situation with multiple accounts and internet. So
gamers are a funny breed. You talk about friction, and I think either Goose Eggs from Pixel Vault or Sinjin from Meiji was talking about this. But you think about gaming historically. I mean, people would wait in line at GameStop or at a mall overnight, to get the game they wanted. People are no strangers to like going through Herculean effort to get their hands on the game they want. So I think that's part of, what does make me optimistic about the crypto side of things. I think, of course, we have to solve things like security. You see people getting hacked. I mean, that's a huge barrier. Anything with financial stakes, obviously ups the game a little bit. But I think, if anybody is going to power through and try to adopt crypto, it feels like gamers are the group that will do that. But there has to be content and compelling games that, get them to go through those hoops. But, at least on mobile, our view is, especially when you think about user acquisition, mobile gamers are a little bit different than console gamers or, browser-based gamers. But with user acquisition, people make a decision on a mobile game in, under 5 seconds sometimes.
Which is
can't
crazy
with wallet pop-ups, before they even try the game. And that's always sort of the existential challenge with anything here.
Would you say that mobile gamers are more like they prefer convenience? Are they the type of gamer that would be unlikely to, stick around and like go through friction?
Mobile gamers like convenience and they like accessibility, but they're also immensely sticky. When they find a game that they like and they're enjoying, I mean, they will play that game for years and years and years, and they'll tell their mom and all their friends, and you have that immensely viral word of mouth. I mean, you saw it with Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, Angry Birds, Pokemon Go, even something like Wordle, can become an overnight sensation just because it's easy to access and it's social. So I think it's giving them the convenience they want, but then hooking them with the stickiness that they crave sort of in that bite-sized chunk.
I definitely see that. My mom's been playing Candy Crush for years and she doesn't play
oh
any
my
other.
god.
Yeah.
My mom too.
I don't understand. Like that one game. And then my dad plays Clash of Clans and it's same thing, just that one game. So
Loyal to the core.
Yeah, crazy.
And that's the thing with moms, especially, you look at that segment, people don't want to think too hard. I think Clash of Clans and Clash Royale are very appealing to certain groups. But if you look at mass market audiences, they just want to play something that's kind of mindless. You can play it casually. You don't have to think too hard about it. And I think that's sort of what we're going for here with King of Destiny. We call it no skill PvP. There's like a very, very basic level of strategy, but for the most part, it's a dopamine machine. You're going through the process, you're earning coins, you're progressing, you get all these different achievements, but it's not sort of like hitting you over the head with, oh, I have to strategize across all of these elements. I have to think too hard about it. It's pretty approachable from that standpoint.
So right now I'm in the tournament aspect.
Nice.
I think I just got a gold. First adventure tournament, deal cards 20 times to get a gift.
Who's on the leaderboard?
Pink Panther is number 1.
I was going to ask about a leaderboard.
Yeah, Cavalion.
So how does the leaderboard work? Is it like for different parts of the game, or is there just an overall outstanding leaderboard?
So for tournaments, there you can think of them. Tournaments and campaign are kind of like parallel experiences. When you join a tournament, it's a PvP experience, and it kind of exists in a bottle. So there are free tournaments that you can enter with no ante. There are also paid tournaments where you can put Fate, which is like that purple starburst looking token in the top right. You wager a little bit of Fate to enter, and then depending on where you rank on the leaderboard, you win a higher amount of that, or we can do custom prizes. Those leaderboards are isolated to only the people that join the tournaments. And the thing that we do to sort of avoid, this mass experience, you can imagine if you have 1 million players playing tournaments, it becomes pretty daunting to try to compete against that large pool. So it actually will spin up instances that are limited to 100 players. So the first 100 players that enter a tournament are in one group, and then it'll spin up sort of a brand new instance with the next 100 players, for as many clusters as we have.
Mobile gamers are built different.
What do you win in a tournament?
So if you go to click the little icon in the top right, the trophy. So you'll see you're currently ranked 26. The prizes are correlated with your place of finish. So you'll typically win campaign deals and coins. So that'll help you progress further in the main part of the game. And then I think the main event and what people are really chasing is that Fate token. It's an off-chain premium currency. So you can think of it like gems in Candy Crush or gems in Clash. The difference, though, is that we, InfiniGods, the developer, we don't sell that premium currency. In our version of the economy, that's purely sourced and sold by players. So it's truly a player-owned economy. And we can kind of get into how you actually sell that token on chain, because that's the piece that we just integrated with Arbitrum last week.
I love that so much.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Such a great take on like the mobile scammy buying nature of economies.
What do you mean?
I find in a lot of these mobile games with like a built-in economy, you can just like be rich and run the show.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Just like buy a bajillion coins the moment you start your account.
It's true. I mean, it's pay to win in a lot of cases. You see whales absolutely dominate games. Some of those tactics are pretty predatory when you think about large mobile gaming studios. So I think our take is, how do you improve upon the industry that's been a certain way for a decade plus? And that's where we think blockchain ownership, Arbitrum really help power that side of the economy and really start to open up trading. And ownership, which I know are buzzwords that everybody talks about, but you're actually like really seeing it in practice here in a way that's abstracted and pretty seamless.
Yeah, so I think this is a perfect segue into the marketplace. So just quickly, basically, all you have to do is click here, click on the Fate icon, and then you'll click either one of these, and it opens an instance. When you showed me, right, on your phone, it was opening within the actual iOS app. I don't know if that's like my phone model or something, but it's opening.
No, I think it's a visual trick. The way it works is it starts in the app through iOS or Google Play, and it just ports you over to a browser PWA. We showed it to you. We showed it to Jonah Blake, a bunch of people, and they were like, I didn't even realize you just switched because it looked identical. It automatically ports over all of your currencies, your account information. You have a smart wallet baked into your KOD account behind the scenes. So there's no seed phrase, no private keys. You're just ready to rock and ready to trade.
Take that, Apple.
Exactly.
Truly. But yeah, so you've got different sections here. Load Fate to piggy bank, view marketplace, break open piggy bank. My inventory. We don't actually have any piggy banks right now, so we have to buy one. As you can see, I've got 20 Fate. I think we can go for the small one maybe, so we can get 2.
Well, it'd be considered like a... Sorry, go ahead.
This is your load piggy bank flow. So if you want to, the way it works is if you want to sell your Fate, you have to take it to the marketplace. You go to the load Fate to piggy bank item. And you can think of it as, I'm putting my coins into a piggy bank that I can then sell. The piggy bank itself is an ERC 1155. So it's an NFT. It's on the blockchain. It enables you to trade that on the marketplace. So I won't make you go through the loading flow because it's going to ask you for your credit card right now. I don't want you to expose your info. But all you would do is you would click this flow. there are different costs associated with the size of the piggy bank. But as soon as you click load, it actually will mint the piggy bank on chain, and it'll leave it in your account.
Wait, could she even do that without making an account? Like as a guest, she could load the currency she made and stuff?
It'll force you to sign into an account just because we want to make sure you don't lose the items that you own. But as soon as you're signed in, you can participate in this right away.
What are these packs we're looking at down there that Elisa's going to buy a bunch of right now?
I don't think those are available yet. I can't click on it.
TBA. Call it 2 or 3 weeks. Those will be released. They're only going to be purchasable in Fate though, so some alpha for the stream.
Some alpha for the Fate grinders. I have a couple people in my community that are grinding KOD like pretty hard. They like it. They like the game. But yeah, I think this is a cool place in the marketplace. Basically, you can see how much a piggy bank is selling for, and you can see past value, like how much is sold for in the past. So I mean, this is literally like, you know, going on OpenSea and looking at an NFT listing and seeing how much is sold for before, which is pretty groundbreaking. I don't think we've seen that ever in a mobile game. So I think just in and of itself, you know, even just beyond the game, this is introducing a new concept for people. I don't even know if like on eBay you can do that. I don't think so.
I don't think so. And also what's cool, so you're seeing them gray out. I'm actually adding these to my cart in real time. So you can kind of see other people interacting with the marketplace. So I'm adding and removing them. I think right now, if you look at Fate pricing, it's selling for about $2 per Fate token, which is, you know, not bad as a starting point. The small piggy bank has 10 Fate inside of it. So the last one sold for what, $25?
Yeah. And the interesting thing here is that obviously the Fate price will fluctuate, right? So
yeah, it's all player determined. I mean, if you hold a piggy bank, you know, you can determine what you list it for. Why don't you actually try buying one, and then you can go through the process of buying it, listing it, then you can actually break it and get the Fate put back into your account.
Okay, so go to my cart. Check out.
So with this screen, when you check out, you can either use a credit card. If you're a normie that doesn't know anything about crypto, you enter your credit card information in there. We're going to enable Apple Pay and Google Pay in the next week to make it super seamless and make sure nobody has to type a million numbers. Or if you have USDC in your Arbitrum wallet, which you can just deposit, you can just use that as a balance and buy something from the marketplace right away. Always
got to have some USDC.
Exactly.
I removed your screen. I didn't want you to talk any of that info.
I used the email that like I rarely use anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wait, why did it say purchase failed? Oh no.
Because you're broke from GDC.
Did you hit pay with credit card without entering your info? Maybe.
No, I clicked pay with the USDC. Wait, let me just go back. Oh no, it went through. Oh. I have 21, so come on. I must have it.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, you bought it. Nice.
Bronze.
Okay, so I can either break it to get Fate, right?
Why don't you list it and I'll buy it back from you?
Okay.
Unless I front run you.
So I'm gonna list it for like double what I bought it.
$800.
This is an expensive stream.
And you can check if you don't know what to list it for. You can check here, and that gives you an idea. I'm guessing if people see like double the price, they'll just try the same thing.
Probably.
Okay.
So posting the listing to Arbitrum takes a couple of seconds rather. Yep.
Congratulations, your item is now listed. Okay, so now you'll be able to see it on the marketplace.
Yep, and if you go to see your listed items, you'll be able to see it in your inventory. Yep, it's there. You can remove it anytime you want.
And you always have a list of your sold items. That's pretty cool.
Yep, there's a little feed. So it showed up on my marketplace. Hold on, I'm adding it to my cart. I'm checking out. Hold on.
So basically, you can you can do many things. You can try and just trade. Like you can be a player that just wants to trade, like wants to buy and try sell it for higher. A bit like, you know, people do in NFTs, like they trade. Or you can you know, actually use it in your for your game. Which is pretty cool. You see
Yeah,
different
part of it will be, you're going to have players that play KOD and have immense demand for Fate, whether it's to enter tournaments, to enter special events. You're going to need, okay, so I just bought your piggy bank. It just went through. Give it a second and it'll show up in your balance. But the new collection too, the avatars, you're only going to be able to buy those with Fate. So we're expecting, it's a really fun collection. They're limited edition PFPs. They feature all of the core IP from KOD, fully collectible. So it'll be a fun experience.
Yeah, so there will be demand for Fate in the game.
We all have a demand for Fate in some way.
I mean, if you need Fate to be able to get avatars and people want avatars, I guess that demand goes up. But what about if you win them in the tournaments? Like, what can you actually use Fate for? What are all the use cases?
Right now, you need Fate to enter tournaments. When you play tournaments, there are God powers that give you special strategic abilities. So you need Fate if you want to reuse those God powers more frequently. You'll need Fate to buy avatar packs and collect avatars. And then we have a whole list of other features that are coming in the next couple of months that we'll use Fate to a higher degree. So for us, it's really important. I think, it's great to build this tech. It's great to create an economy in theory. But if you can't drive supply and demand and manage it effectively, it's sort of like, what's the point of doing it? So, for us, it's a really big priority to drive appeal to Fate, make sure we have a lot of fun use cases for it. So I would say as early alpha, I think the people that stack Fate and have a bigger stash early on will be the big winners.
Let's go. Well, it seems a lot of people have an intuition that that's the case.
What's considered like a whale of Fate at the current economy?
So some good numbers. Right now, there's only about 35,000 Fate that exists across the entire player base. Okay. So it's actually quite scarce. The next real big way that you'll get Fate is we're doing an airdrop to all holders of InfiniPasses and Elder Gods, our two sort of Genesis collections. We're doing it in a cool way. We're going to distribute that through a soulbound piggy bank. So it's soulbound, but you can break it. So we're going to airdrop that into your KOD account in the next, let's call it, week. And when you break that piggy bank in the marketplace, it'll actually contain a large amount of Fate that correlates to the number of passes and Elder Gods that you hold. So it's a pretty fun custom experience. It's exclusive to holders. And that group of users will be the ones that held the majority of Fate, at least early days.
So what would you say is like the equivalent of Fate in Monopoly Go, or is it a totally new concept?
New concept. Yeah. I don't think they have something similar.
In-game currency. Have you played it, Ellie? Monopoly Go?
A couple weeks ago. It's incredibly addicting. I understand why it's as popular as it is.
I mean, I remember first playing King of Destiny and yeah, it's like the dopamine gets you basically. And the fact that it's so multi-layered, like you can't really get bored because every time there's something new, there's new content, which also goes to show just how much work the InfiniGods team is putting in, because that's a lot of content.
And this is the very basic level. I mean, I would even consider KOD kind of in its MVP phase when you think about content. Give us 3 to 6 months, and there's going to be exponentially more layers and things to do that I think magnify and amplify the various things you can do to keep your attention. So we're stoked about the canvas.
Okay, wait. There's one thing that I actually wanted to show. Let me think. Where was it? So just like talking about Web2 players, and the balance is in USDC, so it's in crypto, and you've got this little information button which you click, and it basically tells you how can you withdraw money from King of Destiny, and it tells you exactly what USDC is. But I remember our talk, Brian, and you were saying how, you know, people would probably just end up going to Google, like, what is USDC? Because especially if in Monopoly Go they're already trying to take money out, I think this is like a key part of it, right?
You need that educational piece for people to understand what they have. Our plans in the future are, we will implement fiat withdrawals. So there will be that off ramp down the line. But for now, we think either, if we can help educate some people on crypto and how to use it, if you want to take your money out day one, there's a way to do it. I think if you even look at like NBA Top Shot, it took people over a year to withdraw anything from that platform. On day one, you can deposit or withdraw crypto directly from the app, which we think is pretty cool. I think most people early on will end up using their USDC kind of as like funny money. They'll buy more piggy banks off the marketplace. They can use it to buy avatars off the marketplace. We can create all sorts of experiences and claimables for that USDC to give it utility and value early days. But I think for the mom in Kansas that makes a couple $1,000 selling piggy banks, selling avatars, I think she'll start to be motivated to figure out, what is USDC? How do I take it out to a crypto wallet? How do I bring it to an exchange? You start to have that motivation to incentivize the behavior.
Yeah, I think of any game that I play, and I would probably just reinvest the money, basically. Yeah, that's what I would end up doing. Like, if there was a way for me to sell my skins, I would definitely just buy more. So that makes sense. Because I was going to ask you, how do you can that basically throw the economy out of whack if you have a bunch of players withdrawing, or is it not really applicable because it's not fate?
Doesn't matter to us. I mean, at that point, it's just your money and your balance. The amount of fate that we're emitting, is well calculated and well modeled. So that's really the only thing we think about is, how much fate are we giving out versus how much do we sort of anticipate being sunk. And we have quite a bit of control over both sides of the equation. As far as what fate costs, how much people are selling, what they're making, we say, go get that bread. I mean, we want players to enjoy the experience. We want it to be profitable if that's your goal, and make it as easy as possible to experience that side of things. Because, I don't know about you, but I think about my experience with Web3. I was red pilled so early on by Top Shot and Axie and Zed Run. Yes, it was novel tech, but it was more the financial element and the easy liquidity. It was so easy to collect these things and sell them and make some money. Yep. If we can turn that trigger on, then it starts to get really exciting. When you think about stickiness, retention, monetization, all those things.
Okay, I have a question about community. So in mobile games, usually you don't really have Discords or anything like that. I think it's something that's pretty common in Web3, but I don't know any like official communities, PC games, mobile games. It's not really a thing. But I do remember with Mavia, a bunch of people joining the Discord. I think they had like a CTA in-app. So how do you see that? Like, there's going to be basically a bunch of people probably joining the community to ask questions. I don't see why else they would join initially, because it's pretty unusual. So maybe, they go and ask someone like, hey, like, what's USDC? How can I take it out? And then I think we begin to just enter like a really unique period of time in gaming.
I mean, that's the secret sauce of Web3, right? It's community development and community formation and that social gameplay. I think, one of the really fun things about this genre, you look at Monopoly Go again, they already have community formed on Facebook, around trading groups, around game experience. So you kind of have this really beautiful collision of, a genre that already has that community formation, in a new space, Web3 and blockchain that, is all about community. So we think whether it's Discord or it's Facebook, we think there will be hubs that people will come to. And I think that's a big part of what drives the success of this type of game is, you want to feel that excitement when I can attack my friend or my mom or somebody I recognize. I want to talk some smack to the people that I do that to. We want to make sure we can facilitate those channels and those avenues to make those connections. And that the same goes for trading. The same goes for the marketplace. If you want to cut a deal for somebody's 1 of 10 gold Hercules, I want to be able to find you and have that interaction and cut a deal.
Love that. Yeah, no, it's true. It's so many community-led groups.
Yeah,
I think
if you go back to the main screen and you click the little hamburger menu, I want to see something.
Yeah. Getting a prize.
I always forget those are called hamburger menus.
The map is pretty big.
Makes me hungry.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I wanted to touch on something on community building, and because that's like definitely was my gateway into Web3 as like a career. So I find it's really interesting because sometimes in community, a lot of times it's just customer support, but just called community. But then the customer support can turn into like this kind of like organism that isn't just like open a ticket, thanks, see ya. It's like you start to know the people you're dealing with, the moderators, they actually have name. Like it's very interesting. Even at Arbitrum, like the size of the Discord, there's not that many moderators, and we, in our ticketing system, it's not just like automated replies. They actually respond to you and empathize and just like ask about your experience. It's really fun to make it that way.
I couldn't agree more. And, it's pretty game changing. And I think has been one of our biggest strengths and competitive advantages since day one. I mean, you look at our Discord and, myself, our COO, Chaos, as he's known in the Discord, Mac Jackson, who was at GDC. We've hired Cavalorn from the Wolves DAO, Yap, who I think, we all know from around Twitter and the Wolves, and a couple of other, legendary members of the InfiniGods community to help us with that customer support and debugging. But it's really about, how do we, everyone talks about building in public, but what does that even mean? For us, I mean, the value that our community is bringing by giving us feedback about how do we improve the game? Where am I seeing bugs? How do I replicate these bugs? And then in turn, how do I help fix them for you or help fix your account or whatever? Creates, I think, a really symbiotic relationship that's so beneficial to us as devs and builders, but hopefully for the player, helps them feel heard and seen. If they have issues, they get, a response back in, under an hour, I would say. And then of course, I think the fun part for me is how do we reward those early players? That can obviously be through airdrops, that can be through stipends and things like that. But that even can just be through social proof and acknowledgement and cosmetics. So I think there's a really nice feedback loop there where it's, support from the community, feedback back from the devs and the builders. And then of course, if we can reward those people for their loyalty, their early adoption and their support, that brings us joy and obviously is always a big priority.
I feel like you guys already stand out though. If you even do just a fraction of that, you already stand out from the average game, right?
I mean, you think about an average game and you have an issue with your account, you send in a ticket and you don't get a response back for like 2 weeks and you get like an automated reply. I mean, so if you can do anything, that's sort of real time, I think you already have a massive advantage. But I think Web3, if you look at different communities, even outside of gaming, I think that that distance between team, founders, members, and holders and community members has never been more compressed. I think about Luca Netz or, Frank from the Gods or Paul Bettner from Wildcard. I mean, the fact that you have this level of access to these people, whether it's in the Discord or on Twitter Spaces or even IRL, at GDC, is pretty mind-blowing when you think about how gaming and tech has historically worked.
But that can't last forever, right? Like, I guess if you do scale, like imagine, King of Destiny gets like millions and millions of players. Like, I can't even imagine how difficult it would be to manage that community in Discord. Like, I've been a community manager. That would be crazy.
It's a good problem to have.
You can always do it. You just build a regional team and you cover all the time zones, and people will stick around.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you can still have sort of blanket coverage and touch points for the team, in Discord, on Twitter Spaces, a lot of what we're doing now. that can reach everybody. I think when it comes down to like individual user support in a game that has millions of players, that's probably where, you start to lose some of the direct connection with, myself and Matt and others. But it doesn't mean, like to Eli's point, we can't hire, regional support teams that will be there to support you, every day. And I think that scaling, is a big focus of ours. We want to make sure as we get bigger, we don't lose that white glove treatment, because it does stand out and does make an impact.
How do you see cross-pollination? It's something I love to ask, because I think a lot of us are, thinking about Web3 gaming as a whole, and thinking about how, if there is a big breakout game, if King Destiny really breaks out, how are you seeing cross-pollination? How are you seeing that kind of trickle back into the InfiniGods ecosystem as a whole? Because probably like the way it would be is there will be some Web3 people that are talking about, other games maybe in your Discord as well. So it's kind of like a positive snowball effect, right? Ideally.
100%. I mean, for us, and I think this is a unique thing about Web3 too. It feels like everybody wants everybody else to win. I've chatted a lot with Maria from Fableborn, John from Play Ember, the Pixel Vault guys. I mean, a lot of teams that are building and trying to pioneer in mobile, especially, about potential ways for us to cross-pollinate and work together more. Because I think, there are sort of layers to it, right? If KOD blows up, it ends up having benefits for our entire ecosystem when you think about existing games and future games. But, we'd love to share that success with other games in Web3 that, I think have audiences and users that would enjoy our product, and vice versa. I think, at this stage, Web3 needs to win as a whole.
Yeah,
I view it as
100%.
clear competitive, where it's like, we win and nobody else should win. It's like, no, I want, we have to start with great content and beloved characters and IP that people love. But beyond that, there's sort of like concentric circles. It's, you take KOD, it benefits InfiniGods, then it benefits Arbitrum, then it benefits other mobile games, then it benefits Web3 as a whole. That's sort of how we see the trickle down and the snowball, with time.
Yeah, you definitely see that proven when you see the losses, like the big losses in the space. Everyone usually loses in those situations. It's
Right?
never great. It was funny at GDC, someone came by. They're like, "Oh, I was just at the Avalanche booth. They got a bigger booth than you guys. How about that?" And I was like, "Great! If they're crushing Web3 gaming, that's good for the whole space. I promise you."
I mean, they captivated the entire conference.
Yeah, come on.
Perfect placement. Their slogan was baller.
Yeah.
It's great for everybody. I don't care what, like, we have this weird thing with chains where some people view it as like sports teams. It's like, I think chains are fantastic. Like, we're so stoked to be on Arbitrum because we get this beautiful ecosystem of neighbors and supporters to build with and have closer relationships with. And I think it's so cool to be at GDC next to you guys, next to Pirate Nation, Battle Plan, the Beacon, Treasure, you name it, the teams were there. But it doesn't mean I'm like, oh, fuck AVAX, like all those. It's like, no, like, we love Fableborn, we love Shrapnel, we love Bloodloop. I want all those guys to do great. So I think all in all, NFTs have always been PvP to an extent. It's like apes want pudgies to do bad and vice versa. Pudgies flipped apes, apes flipped punks. Like, who's better than one another? I think Web3 gaming is unique in that it doesn't feel like we have a lot of that sort of PvP clashing. It does really feel like we want one another to win. And I think you're going to see a lot more partnerships come out of it, not just chain 100%. And game studio, but game to game, chain to chain. And I think that's pretty exciting.
I think where we've seen like the narrative flip a lot is from a tech side, because once people realize that leveraging multiple chains tech into like certain packages with scaling solutions is where they're like, oh, all these chains are actually like cross-pollinating and help empower each other. Like, you can literally use like the OP super chain but build an orbit chain on it. It's like, who knew that would happen? And I think the more people see that and that becomes more common, because it's just started happening this year, they'll realize, oh, it's not Optimism versus Polygon versus Arbitrum or Avalanche versus Ether. It's like, no, it's actually all kind of just like connected. So
Yeah, and
Yep.
our hope is, I mean, if we can be that funnel, to mass distribution, you think about through the app stores, and we can be the first company that drives, or one of the first companies that drives 7-8 figure user growth. The goal is not to funnel those people in and keep them in like our own little cage and not let them out. It's like, how do we bring them into this world of Web3 and blockchain and ownership, in our particular form factor, and start to introduce them to more games and genres that have really clever, spins on that core tech. And I think that's, what I've loved about, getting to know the Arb guys, and Off-Chain Labs. I think everybody in the ecosystem shares that collective vision and desire. Somebody will break through and, will be sort of that Trojan horse. It's just a question of who's first, and then how do we keep those users, engaged with different titles, different content, and whatnot.
I've got to say this, the art in this tournament section is really amazing. The
Cool.
and everything, so cool.
We're stoked. The guy in the back, he's like a little Spartan soldier. We're working with Lemon Sky Studios, really killer studio based out of Malaysia.
Oh, nice.
They've done work for EA, Activision, Yuga Labs, pretty much any big gaming company they've worked with. So they're going to work to bring, the tournament guy, Spartan Soldier, Hercules, Zeus, Ares, Athena, all to life in 3D animation. You think about Supercell, Clash of Clans, what they've done with like Hog Rider, like their premium IP. We think the IP is really fun and really strong. Everybody knows Hercules, everybody knows Zeus, so you kind of have that baseline level of familiarity, versus building fresh IP. So I think that's something that'll be super exciting, as we start to scale UA and drive creative.
I have a random question that maybe you have the answer to. Is so in music in the film world, like a lot of people use classical music because in a lot of times, like it's not like it basically works as like royalty free in a way. So does it work that way with like fictional gods, like on an IP standpoint?
Gods are public domain. They're the world's biggest public domain IP. Kind of a funny story. Our founders, before they, leaned into gods, almost actually bought Jurassic Park IP or licensed it for all of our games, and ended up going the God route. For that reason, it's public domain. But I think more than that, gods, myths, monsters, legends are so ubiquitous. You go to any country or culture on Earth, and they have their own version of that. So I think in terms of familiarity, in terms of localization, the ability for us to advertise in different parts of the world and bring characters, art, legend that they know and can relate to, I think is pretty unique compared to original IP that might be a little bit more narrow early on. So it does give us a lot of flexibility and power there that I think is a big leg up.
Which is like such a little thing you'd think, but like where mobile gaming is so huge in like so many like different regions across the globe, and in a lot of places where Web3 is empowering people like to live through their mobile phone. We don't always think of that in like, first world countries, but I think these kind of things take off in smaller regions and in more or less developed countries. So that's really cool. Just the little things of the brand and IP.
Little things that, really do make a huge difference. And I think if you look at mobile UA, and, the little things are what make the biggest difference. So I think, any advantages we can find, you think about the IP, the relatability there, the ease of getting into the game. And then, of course, the blockchain stuff and the ability to earn and trade and own, is fundamentally different from CoinMaster, Monopoly Go, these other competitors, that I think just if you're picking door A or door B, the games are the same, but door B lets you sell your stuff and it makes some money. I think you're always going to pick door B. So I think there are a couple of layers to it, and we feel really good about our chances once we start hitting the marketing machine in the UA cannons.
One of the ways that Axie grew so much was word of mouth. Like in the Philippines, that's basically how it happened, and it just took over. And apparently the team actually did some groundwork, like going around and like speaking to people. So they kind of started that that wave like intentionally, and then it kind of just started, bubbling up. So yeah, pretty cool.
I am waiting though for your game that's gonna have Jurassic Park IP though. I'm a big dinosaur fan.
Hey, maybe that's phase 2.
Okay.
You're a dinosaur fan? That's so funny.
Yeah, always been.
We need to connect you with Jeremy Horn. Don't they have Age of Dino?
Yeah, they do.
Ooh.
Okay,
You're
that was.
you're in 9th place right now?
On
What?
the leaderboard? You're 9th?
I think
No
so.
way.
Let's go.
Let's
Free to
see.
play.
Wait. Yeah, I am. Crazy. So this is out of 100 people.
So there are 100 people in your pool. So right now you're in 9th. If it ended right now, you'd win 5 fates. So that's like $10
Not
right
bad.
now. Not bad.
Is your pool of 100 always the same people? Like, how does the instance get? Because I see some similar names there.
It's sequential. So as 100 people enter a bottle, sort of, you can think of it, that instance fills up. Once there are 100 people, that sort of instance is shut. And then another instance of 100 starts to fill. So if you joined like right after your mom, for instance, you'd probably be in the same tournament. If you waited an hour or two, you might be separated into different groups.
I've got to say, I really love the art, especially the card art.
Yeah, it's like
Very
chunky.
appealing.
It's chunky.
Well,
like
the fun thing about
colorful.
card art too is those card backs actually will be collectible. So we can brand those.
There we go.
IP.
You're taking that TCG play.
There you go. So you could do a collab with Pudgy Penguins and do a custom Pudgy card back that
So
only
cool.
you can use.
That's another really cool thing in Web3 that I'm seeing with gaming specifically is people literally taking other projects' IP with permission and collaboration and then putting it in their game visually and letting those holders have, a crossover to their game. It's another reason why like the peers over or collaborators over competitors makes so much sense in this space.
Well, one thing we want to do, if you go back to tournaments, we can create fully white labeled tournaments. So you can create a Pudgy World tournament that's only available to Pudgy Penguin holders.
Cool.
You give everybody who participates a custom Pudgy card back, a custom Pudgy avatar for the top 10 finishers. You can, of course, give NFT rewards to anybody who finishes in the top. But it gives you that canvas and that ability to create really fun and custom community-driven experiences. You could even imagine like a community versus community experience where you have a Pudgy tournament, a Bored Ape tournament, a Wolves DAO tournament, and whichever group does the best, ends up getting bonus rewards in some capacity. So it kind of can stack value on value there.
You guys should talk to AI Arena. It sounds like you have similar thoughts on that stuff.
There you go.
That kind of touches on cross-pollination, right? Because then people are like, "Oh, what's a Pudgy?" Like players are like, "What's a Pudgy? How can I participate?" Then they'll see the floor price and scream.
Like, oh, this thing's $50,000.
Yeah, see ya.
But
the other one, that you can even think about is, with our own assets, if you hold an InfiniPass or an Elder God, you get access to special tournaments that have bonus rewards. And then all of a sudden, people in the IG ecosystem are like, oh, crap, like, I want access to that thing. What's this InfiniPass thing? Let me go think about buying one. Maybe it's too expensive, maybe it's not. But it starts to subtly, I think, convey that value both in your ecosystem and additionally, with external communities and IP and whatnot.
Are you guys going to take IG from Instagram?
What? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are you guys going to take IG from Instagram? You're going to take it over.
it's Meta. Remember?
Oh, okay.
I still call it Instagram.
I'll ask Owen. Owen was there for 12 years, I think. So he's got all the secrets.
He's got the plug.
My app
Eliza,
still
can you
says
go back
Instagram.
to the home screen? I wanted to check out one thing. So before I bought your piggy bank for, I think, $50, if you go to your news feed, did it show up?
Yep.
Cha-ching. So that's another thing, we want to make sure we give the user feedback from the marketplace in the game itself. And right now it's just you listed a piggy bank, you sold one, you get the notification, but you can imagine sort of this global notification too that says, so-and-so in Germany just sold a big piggy bank for $500. Then every user's like, oh crap, like, how do I get a piggy bank? How do I make one of those? How do I sell them? And then you start to get that FOMO and that recognition.
Let the FOMO begin.
That's really clever. Yeah. The FOMO.
The FOMO. Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna grind the tournament. I just entered this one where you can basically win more fate. So that's interesting.
And that's the alpha. Play the tournaments, smash up your friends, collect fate, and then avatar packs will come out. Let's call it midway through April. So there's only some alpha for you guys. So only 10K packs, 10K avatars in total over the course of a few months. So it'll be a sequence of pack drops. They're all collectible, limited edition. They'll only be available in this Series 1 sort of set. 13 different characters. So all of the core IP, Hercules, Ares, Zeus, Athena, all those characters are in there. You'll be able to trade them on the marketplace from day one. Different rarities, so common, rare, legendary. There's a fun little gotcha roulette experience as you open the packs. So we think it'll be a good time. And
you have to have a game account. So make sure you download the game, make an account, all of that.
Yeah, Lisa.
You want to buy your piggy bank back from me, and then we'll call it a day
for $50.
No, I'll sell it to you for whatever, 28, the first price.
Cheap. Okay. Fates.
She only got 19 fates.
And this is really so that when the packs come out, you have 10 more fate that you can use.
Wow, so generous. Thank you.
I'm so generous, right? I gave you a free 2x.
Lovely.
Damn, InfiniGods team is generous.
Handed it out.
So I have to go to small piggy bank, I guess.
Oh, hold on. I'm listing it now. Okay, so it should pop up. Yeah, there you go.
That was instant.
Boom.
That was literally instant.
User experience +1.
And
you don't actually have to enter your email. You can just hit pay with USDC and it'll go through. Yep.
Power of blockchain.
Exactly. No information required.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I could have just done that from the start.
Just your seed phrase. Such an overused joke, but I love it.
All right.
Okay. This is a bug, Bri, but it says purchase failed, but it didn't fail. It happened before as well.
Oh, it actually worked. Okay.
It's intended. The legal team. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, it definitely sold because my balance is down.
And if you check your inventory, it's in there.
Yep.
Oh, last one. You should break it. So when you break it, this is the important part. So if you want more fate in your account, you buy the piggy banks from other players. You break them, which is technically it's a burn of the ERC 1155 on the blockchain. So you hit break. It's going to give you a fun little break experience. And then that 10 fate will be credited back to your account.
Where's the animation? Show me that animation.
Did it explode?
I only saw it disappear into a black ether.
Into the abyss.
Into the abyss. I want that dopamine. Show me the animation.
Where's the animation?
It probably has a cool sound too. I remember at GDC all the sounds were just like it's like mobile games. Mobile games just have a different kind of like user response like thing. It's interesting. I'm not a mobile gamer, so every time I see it, I'm like, whoa, that was a way different gaming experience.
Okay, so it broke. It gave you the 10 fate. You have 29.
I'm rich.
But we didn't get the animation. We'll look into that one.
It's okay.
Pump it.
I've seen the animation and it's very cool.
But it's cool. It cracks. It explodes. Fate like explodes all over your screen.
All right, someone send me the animation. I gotta see that.
Cool.
I'll screen record it and send it to you. And yeah, just quickly, also just to show how smooth it is, like when you click back to game, it takes you straight there. So
just like a quick tab over.
Yeah.
And that's you even like doing a weird casting hack.
Yeah.
It hasn't even lagged. Pretty crazy.
No, it hasn't been lagging, and that's you on my stream. So it's like the layers of possibilities for that to be a bad experience are high here, but it's not happening.
Pretty good sign.
You know, I'm definitely not a like an RNG based player, or whatever you called it. What was the genre? It's
luck battle.
Luck battle, yeah. Like I literally left the competitive Hearthstone scene once it became insanely RNG based, but I understand why people love it. It's just like so quick. Like you don't have to think. You just
You just
throw.
shuffle.
You just shuffle. You're just a dealer.
That's the funny thing, when I joined InfiniGods and Damon whipped out the news that he had King of Destiny that he had been building for over 2 years at the time. It's been 3
Damn.
years in the making now. I had never played Coin Master. I had never played Monopoly Go. I didn't get the category. It felt stupid to me, honestly. Then I started playing KOD and the competitors, and I was like, oh, I get it. It hooks you so quickly, and it's dopamine, and it's easy, and I can play it 5 or 10 minutes a day. And then you think about all these really cool blockchain use cases, and it's like, okay, I get it. I like this thing, and now I'm addicted, and I play it every day, and I would whether I worked for IG or not. So it's funny how that happens.
I think the leaderboard is also a very nice touch.
That's what I love. I love the social interaction. I want to beat my friends, so that part's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the competitors love that part, and then the moms, they just want to spin that wheel, baby.
Hey, you don't know. Maybe the moms want fate.
All right, one last shout out to the mom gamers. They really got support this stream.
They're the best. Moms are the best.
I'm gonna call my mom after this.
Oh, the other thing about tournaments that's kind of cool, and this is sort of where there is a little bit of strategy, but not too much. If you hit build in the bottom left, you have that same earn hammers, build your base type mechanic. But what it does is the more stars that you accumulate by building, the higher multiplier you get on your attacks. So you actually score more points through attacks if your base is built up more. The other side of things is, if I get attacked, my base actually will lose stars and I lose my multiplier. So there's sort of this balance between I want to build my base up as high as possible, shoot off as many attacks as possible to score heavy points, and then keep my base intact, to keep scoring until the tournament's over. So
this is just for tournaments.
That's just for tournaments, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you can see your multiplier now is 1.4x.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering what that is. But when you click on it, upgrade your tournament city to activate attack. Okay, yeah.
So the more stars you have, the higher multiplier you get on your attack scoring.
Brian, as you guys build the game out and then have a bigger competitive community and such, is there gonna be any ideas for doing tournaments that are kind of rank gated or something?
100%.
Cool.
We have so many ideas for ways to segment tournaments. I think honestly, I'm a big tournament player. For me, it's where I spend all my time. I think the potential for a segmentation based on community, holdings, progression, rankings, you can have a whole ladder system that you can build over a season. It really is a blank canvas to do anything we want with it. And I think that's where it starts to get really fun. When you really tap into the competitive nature of people, you have standings, you have a ladder, and of course rewards commensurate with that. I think that's where it gets really fun.
Yeah, I love ranks. Clash of Clans has that, right? I've never played.
They have a global ladder and ranking.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm 44. Let's see. I'll send you a screenshot of what I am later today.
Did you create the account? You finalized
my city?
Wait, weren't you 20? Weren't you 9 a second ago?
Yeah, so this is the one with the fate buy-in. So it's actually
higher rewards for the silver adventure.
Yeah.
Well, that person has their photo doxed on there.
Wow.
Number 6. You can put your profile. You can put your profile.
Connector.
He wants everybody to know that it's him.
And the other cool thing is, with this new avatar collection, and this is where cloud and flexing comes into play. If you own the avatar and you set it as your PFP in game, it'll show up on all the leaderboards. It'll show up when you attack someone's village. So if you're the one at the top that has the gold Hercules and you're one of 10 people that owns that, it has a pretty fun social response to it.
People
cosmetics, baby.
Bang. So yeah, you just attacked and you scored 280 instead of the normal, I think, 100.
Why can't you hold down this one?
You should be able to.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, it has the same auto deal, the same deal multipliers.
Good stuff. Well, everybody, download King of Destiny. Grind. That's all
stuff.
there is to do. Grind.
What's
This was fun, guys. Thanks for the time.
Why don't we end it with what's next for InfiniGods and King of Destiny?
So download King of Destiny, available now in every country on iOS and Android, totally free to play. I think short term, get in tournaments, accrue fate. You're going to want it for some things we have coming up in the future. If you hold InfiniPasses or Elder Gods, sign up for an account, connect your wallet on web. You're going to get an airdrop of fate in the next, let's call it 8 days. So excited about that. And then the next big one is, I think the first NFT collection we've released in a very long time, I think since 2022, are these King of Destiny avatars. They're cosmetic in the game. They're for the flex, but limited edition collectibles. You will need Fate to buy packs and rip those and own those. So that's probably the next big thing coming out sort of midway through April, call it around the 13th. And then just keep your eyes peeled. We're going to have some big announcements at the InfiniGods level. Let's call it later in April that we can't wait to talk about.
Yeah, TLDR, there's a lot coming.
There's a lot coming.
Not coming. Would InfiniGods be considered like the gaming studio that?
Yeah, InfiniGods is the gaming studio at a high level. King of Destiny is, our big flagship mobile game. We actually have 2 other games, InfiniMerge and Immortal Siege, that came out previously. InfiniMerge is sort of like a match 3D merge game, casual and browser. Immortal Siege is a tower defense game, meets deck building and RTS. So, we've kind of run the gamut of genres, but going forward, we are all in on mobile gaming. It's sort of where our roots are from. It's what we know best. It's what we think has the best chance at scale and distribution. So KOD is the title right now that we're focused on scaling, but there will be more games in the future, both sort of as a studio, but also you can think of us as a publisher that'll have some potential deals in the future to bring new IP and titles in.
And we got some belated alpha on the old games.
Yeah, I still remember waking up. So you had only like 5, I don't know what to call them, 5 turns or something to play Merge. Yeah. I remember waking up in the morning and like going to play it. That's crazy.
There are some diehards that still, love it. It's a really fun and simple game. It actually is pretty strategic in terms of how you play it and how you score big. But we were actually, I think, one of the first companies when we launched InfiniGods and our InfiniPasses, like early 2022. I think we were one of the first gaming companies that actually had a live game when they minted something, which was like such a novel concept at the time. So we actually used InfiniMerge to give out whitelist to mint those InfiniPasses, which, feels like ancient history at this point. But, we've always wanted to be product first. I think that was always important to us, show that we can build games that people like, and then go to town on the Web3 side afterwards.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I've known about you guys since I started my journey, basically.
This year's going to be fun.
Yes.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, guys. Nice to see you both again.
Yep.
Good to see you guys.
See you at next GDC.
Yep, of course. Hopefully before then.
Yeah, hopefully before then. Next gaming event.
Recovered.
Yeah, true.
Take care, guys. I hope you feel better.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Download KOD.
Download KOD.
Download KOD. Bye, community.
Bye, guys.
Bye.